It's time. I'm back.
The light gun, an invention just as important to games as the consoles themselves. They've been around during the early days of gaming until the 2000s. Why? Well, it's because of technology. Televisions way back when, known as CRT TVs, had copper tubes within them, something light guns needed to react. As time went on, however, with high definition becoming standard, there was no point to develop CRT TVs anymore, thus light guns faded away. Multiple attempts have been made to modernize the light gun, but no success as of yet. But just because traditional light guns don't work, that doesn't mean that they cannot work at all. Bringing you the Nintendo Wii, with the Bluetooth and the sensor, the Wiimote can actually be used for shooting in an arcade way. Bringing you the game of this review, Ghost Squad, initially an arcade shooter, ported to Nintendo Wii in 2007. The machine itself has guns, and it makes sense that the console port will use the exact same method, that the Wiimote being the gun itself. For this review, I will use the Wii U to play the game. Pretty genius, I must say. The same with my Toy Story 3 review. Before you can start shoot, you get a rundown of the mission by the commander. It's based on their hotel, where the goal is to defeat the villain and save the hotel guests. If you hope you can take it easy and snore before being down, you are dead wrong! This is a high-octane shooter with high tempo but no profanity. Enemies fire at you a lot. Fast reflexes is the key to win. Precision as well. A lot of enemies appear on screen at a time. If you are able to kill them by shooting the head, you get even more points, and that is the goal of the game. To gain points, and at a certain point you have to face a few choices before you can move on, and you can only select one per game. All of them enticing to choose, such as disarming bombs or save hostages. Thankfully, it doesn't mean something dangerous is going to happen if you choose the other option. You will just have to return to the level in question and beat the mission that time. The chair and the tables means all enemies hide underneath, and it is real hard to shoot them before they go under. I had the opportunity to get lots of continues to eventually get to the last bit, where Yasuo happens to be a boss, the one that caused all of this to happen. This mission involves a bazooka, which is hard to manage if you're not prepared for it. You have to wait for it to charge, and even if you aim at the right spot, it's still a 50-50 shot if it will hit. I failed the final bit because of that. Yeah, big shock, I know. That was level 1. Now let's move on to level 2, but let's just see how I did. This chart shows you how well I did on the current level. I failed on several bits. This level takes place on an aircraft where the terrorists will hijack the plane, and I don't know, not even the commander knows. Their plans are uncertain. Just shoot and rescue the president. This level is easier since the enemies has no tables to hide behind. They are mostly in plain sight, so getting close to them is a no-brainer. But I guess the protein loves being on the table, so it takes a detour for some reason. On every level, there's a quick time event where you have to use the Wiimote for a special function. It all depends on the level. On this one, you will have to shove the Wiimote forward to punch this guy. You have to act within seconds. I failed myself. It was my fault and not theirs. That's what you need to know about the gameplay. I think it is about time to talk about everything that isn't gameplay. Level 2. The level takes place on an aircraft where the terrorists will hijack the plane and do, I don't know. Not even the commander knows. Their plans are uncertain. Just shoot and rescue the president. This level is easier since the enemies have no tables to hide behind. They are mostly in plain sight, so getting close to them is a no-brainer. But I guess the prototype loves being on the table, so it takes a detour for some reason. On every level there's a quick time event where you will use the Wiimote for a special action. It all depends on the level. On this one you will have to shove the Wiimote forward to punish him. You have to act within seconds. I failed myself. It was a fault on my part and not yours. That's what you need to know about the gameplay. I think it's time to talk about everything that isn't the gameplay. Graphically, the game looks pretty good. The environments are full of detail, and so are the characters. All of them talk clearly. None of them have a personality, but that's how it's meant to be. There's also a lot of music. Nothing special, just fitting to the situation at hand. It's okay, not every piece of music in this game have Oscars quality. It is very loud though, so I don't recommend playing this game with loud volume. But that's okay within the context of the game. It is high octane for a reason. Now I made it to the final stage of the game, and you have to save a guy by shooting the villain by shooting him in the head. You only got one shot at this, and if you lose, it's game over. I was able to thankfully save the guy. The plane is safe, and this level is complete. Now it's time for the last one, level 3. So I didn't realize during the second level you were actually there on this aircraft for a reason. Upon defeating the enemies, you will actually gain access to a satellite dish, and this one was able to track down the evil mastermind behind this entire plan. And it turns out he's located in South Africa. So the very first part of this level is based on a quick time event. You have to shoot the bad guys on top of these watchtowers, and you're doing so by using a sniper rifle, one that you have to aim with. It's actually kind of difficult, or at least for me. I didn't realize that I was missing them, and I was able to hit only one of them, or at least a few. However, the guy that you're supposed to rescue, the president, that being McCoy, he's actually not very far into the level. As a matter of fact, within a few minutes you actually picked him up. So now you have to guide him through this level without him dying. So after shooting for a while, you now approach yet another quick time event, and this time here you have to disarm some bombs. And you're doing so by holding down the A button when you approach them. Although you don't actually slow down, you will have to disarm these bombs on the move. Now thankfully I was able to do so, and you can also do that rather easily as long as you just keep track of the bombs and actually notice them. Of course, like I said before, this does require reflexes, and if you do not have them or they're not good enough, then you will simply not really do well at this part of this mission. I actually will give this game credit for actually adding some difficulty to this game by actually adding a few quick time events here and there, which aren't just super easy and that everyone can beat it on the very first try. You have to actually, like, you know, try to actually win. I really appreciate that. So now it is time for the last third of this game, and on this bit you will have to speed on a boat across the ocean while enemies are firing at you from behind, with very few enemies appearing at a time compared to the other bits of this level. And the cool thing about this is the fact that McCoy, the president, is actually speeding the boat, that being boosting up and steering it. He actually does serve a purpose, unlike other presidents in fictional media, which does absolutely nothing but to be driven to a safe location. And so we finally reached the final boss of this level, and this one is actually a mission that I will admit myself I failed miserably at because of my dumb thoughts. You will have to shoot at this armored vehicle by simply shooting at it with your gun or use a bazooka, while at the same time enemies are shooting grenades at you, or firing rather. I had no idea that you will have to actually shoot the armored plates with anything that you've got, either your bazooka or your shotgun. I thought that you would only be able to shoot with your bazooka, although I realized that way too late to actually make an impact. So sadly, because of my dumb nature, I failed this level, and I failed to actually save the president. We all crashed into the ocean, and then the bad guys just came and took us into their helicopter. And that means that the game is over. And after all these 3 levels have been beaten, you will get a point total. I didn't realize that until I actually had done capture footage, so I had to turn on the camera once again. So I apologize for the seemingly apparent jump cut, but that's what happens when you record footage. At times you don't realize what you have to do before it's too late. And if I do say so myself, I did really well. I placed at the top 3 on the scoreboard. So overall, do I recommend Ghost Squad for the Nintendo Wii? If you like arcade shooters, then yes, there's a lot to like about that particular genre, and this particular game is perfect representation of what it actually means. High octane, lots of action, lots of music, generic characters, everything that you could want of an arcade shooter. Thank you so much for watching this video. The views on this channel has begun to grow exponentially, and I'm oh so grateful for that. If you like to
to see more of me and my videos, then consider subscribing and leaving a like. And right now on the screen you will see links to the previous videos I've done. Thank you so much once again for watching, and see you later!